Letter 27 of Pomona's Travels, a series of letters to the Mistress of Rudder Grange from her former handmaiden, by Frank R. Stockton. Read for LibriVox.org into the public domain. Letter number 27. Their Country and Their Custom House, New York. I send you this, madam, to let you know that we arrived here safely yesterday afternoon, and that we are going today to Joan's mother's farm, where Corinne is. I liked sailing from Southampton, because when I start to go to a place I like to go, and when we went home before we had to begin by going all the way up to Liverpool by land, and then coming all the way back again by water, and after a couple of days of this to stop at Queenstown and begin the real voyage from there. I did not like it, although it was a good deal of fun seeing the bumboat women come aboard at Queenstown and telescope themselves into each other as they hurried up the ladder to get on deck and sell us things. We had a very good voyage, with about enough rolling to make the dining saloon look like some of the churches we've seen abroad on weekdays, where there was services regular, but mighty small congregations. When we got in sight of my native shore, England, Scotland, and even the longed-for Italy, with her palaces and gondolas, faded from my mind, and my every fibre tingled with pride and patriotism. We reached our dock about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I could scarcely stand still, so anxious was I to get ashore. There was a train at 8 which reached Rockbridge at 9:30, and there we could take a carriage and drive to the farm in less than an hour, and then Corinne would be in my arms, so you may imagine my state of mind, Corinne before bedtime. But a cloud blacker than the heaviest fog came down upon me, for while we was standing on the deck, expecting every minute to land, a man came along and shouted at the top of his voice that no baggage could be examined by the custom-house officers after 6 o'clock, and the passengers could take nothing ashore with them but their handbags, and must come back in the morning and have their baggage examined. When I heard this, my soul simply boiled within me. I looked at Joan, and I could see he was boiling just as bad. "Joan," said I, "don't say a word to me." "I am not going to say a word," said he, and he didn't. All our belongings was in our trunks. Joan didn't carry any handbag, and I had only a little one which had in it 3 newspapers, which we bought from the pilot, a toothbrush, a spool of thread and some needles, and a pair of scissors with one point broken off. With these things we had to go to a hotel and spend the night, and in the morning we had to go back to have our trunks examined, which, as there was nothing in them to pay duty on, was a waste of time for all parties, no matter when it was done. That night, when I was lying awake thinking about this welcome to our native land, I don't say that I hauled down the Stars and Stripes, but I did put them at half-mast. When we arrived in England we got ashore about 12 o'clock at night, but there was the custom-house officers as civil and obliging as any people could be, ready to tend us and pass us on. And when I thought of them, and afterward of the lordly hirelings who met us here, I couldn't help feeling what a glorious thing it would be to travel if you could get home without coming back. Joan tried to comfort me by telling me that we ought to be very glad we don't like this sort of thing. In many foreign countries, said he, people are a good deal nagged by their governments, and they like it. We don't like it, so haul up your flag. I hauled it up, and it's flying now from the tip-toe of my tallest mast. In an hour our train starts, and I shall see Corinne before the sun goes down. End of Letter 27. End of Pomona's Travels, a series of letters to the Mistress of Rudder Grange from her former handmaiden, by Frank R. Stockton. Read by Sibella Denton, in Carrollton, Georgia, in January 2008. All LibriVox files are in the public domain. For more information, please visit LibriVox.org.